It's now my great pleasure to invite the founder and president of the Institute of World Politics to the podium, Dr. John Lenczowski. But before I introduce you, I just want to say, in the Reagan administration, we were all kicking around the idea that you really needed something more than the war colleges and the School of Foreign Service, that you needed something to pull all the elements of national power together, because that was Reagan's plan. That was how you took down the Soviet Union and ultimately ended the Cold War. Everybody talked about it. You did it. So, with that, knock 'em dead.
Thank you so much, KT, for your introduction and for so generously helping us this evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Our whole team here at the Institute of World Politics and I are honored by your presence here. Let me be the first to express my deep appreciation to the many people who have made IWP possible for over so many years, and who are serving its mission today. To our Board of Trustees, thank you for volunteering your time, your counsel, and your deep involvement in so many aspects of the Institute's life. To our financial supporters, thank you for your wonderful, faithful generosity and dedication. To Terry and Mary Kohler, a very special thank you for being such pivotal seed funders of the Institute and for serving as the co-chairs of tonight's celebration. Thank you also to the generous supporters of this event, whom you see listed in the program, and also to my friend John Hadjipateras, whose laureate donation came in after we went to print with the program. To our unique faculty of scholar practitioners, who have rendered extraordinary service to our country and who teach what you have practiced in that service. Thank you all for what you do to educate new generations of American leaders. Among you are ambassadors, senior military officers, specialists in public diplomacy and strategic influence, presidential advisors, intelligence officers, economic strategists, and other foreign policy and defense officials. To our students, student government leaders, and student ambassadors, thank you for choosing IWP and for all you do to enrich the life of the school. To our alumni, thank you for your continuing involvement with the Institute and for your efforts to expand our network and to help our current students, and for the many ways you embody the Institute's ethos of service to a cause higher than yourselves. My sincere thanks to our hardworking and dedicated staff for running the many moving parts of an academic institution. And now I express my personal gratitude, and I'm sure the gratitude of all in this room, to those on the staff and our other friends who worked so hard to plan and pull together this celebration. Thank you. Finally, I thank my wife, Susan, who has given so much to this effort and has had to endure the uncertainties of what was often a very precarious journey. So many of you are here out of friendship and a remarkable solidarity with the cause that the Institute of World Politics represents. It's been a long march for 25 years. I sometimes feel that it's been across the Gobi Desert, and so many of you have been on that march with us. It has indeed been a long effort to build one academic institution in this country that is dedicated to the moral, political, economic, diplomatic, and military defense of American liberty. We have worked to build a school that is designed to form and develop new leaders for our country. Leaders capable of seeing the realities of the world clearly and courageously. Leaders who can resist the temptation to succumb to utopian solutions to world problems. Leaders skilled in all the arts of statecraft, the instruments of national power, and how they are used in an integrated, strategic fashion. Leaders who understand why the American constitutional order is a very rare and precious thing in human history, and that it is worth defending. Leaders who are mission-oriented and not careerist, who are capable of prudential reasoning and moral leadership. There is no other school in the country that has such a mission. Our 25-year journey has been full of amazing developments, some that may have been miraculous. Indeed, my wife Susan gave me a pin. I'm wearing it here today. It says, "I don't believe in miracles. I depend upon them." She gave it to me years ago. She wondered how I dredged it up. I keep it right in front of my keyboard on my desk. I ask my skeptical friends, how many times do you have to go broke and get rescued repeatedly by donations whose arrival, size, and timing are totally beyond your control? How many times does that happen to you? Does that have to happen to you before you start wondering if it's more than a coincidence? I have been blessed with the eyes to see what I conclude is providential protection of this enterprise, and I thank the Lord for it. One of the great hurdles in establishing IWP was securing academic accreditation. Market entry into the world of higher education is very difficult. One cannot even apply for accreditation until one has a degree program in place and a student body in place who are already matriculated and who are ready not only to attend, but to graduate from an unaccredited school. Then you have to graduate at least 2 classes of students before you can achieve accreditation. In 2006, we achieved this milestone, and we were reaccredited for 10 years in 2012 and are now moving forward into our second quarter century with an ambitious strategic plan and vision. As many of you know, over half of our students are recent college graduates, and a little less than half of them are mid-career professionals. Among them have been a good number of officers of the U.S. Army. Almost a decade ago, several Army generals, including the Chief of Staff, General Ray Odierno, were interested in creating what they call Army pentathletes, officers capable of multiple arts of statecraft that were necessary for the successful conduct of counterinsurgency operations in the recent wars. So, well, these arts, by the way, included diplomacy with tribal elders, countering hostile propaganda, stability operations through educational, medical, and infrastructural aid, mapping the human terrain through cultural intelligence, and the often neglected art of counterintelligence. We were offering precisely the kind of curriculum that they were seeking. So the Army has sent its captains and majors here for master's degrees, lieutenant colonels and colonels as senior War College fellows like Karen, and senior officers, NCOs, and civilian officials for intensive executive education seminars. We're the only school that is authorized to teach strategy to the Army's strategists, the FA-59s. And we do this when the Army War College cannot accommodate the numbers who need the schooling. We have relationships with many other government agencies, which either send their personnel to us or hire our graduates. It's been a particular challenge to get an agreement with one major U.S. intelligence agency. The Army's ready to sign agreements, sometimes some of the other agencies are not. One time I was advised to visit the internal educational division of this agency to see if it was possible to recruit some of its personnel on a regular basis. A senior official there told me that the agency had been sending its people to us since 1993. Our graduates have gone on to do great things. They're working in every imaginable agency of our government, in all sorts of defense and intelligence contracting companies, in various non-governmental organizations, on congressional staffs, in think tanks, media organizations, and law firms. Some of them have even married each other. We're going to have a wedding in November, by the way, of 2 alumni. One alumnus, the Hill staffer, saved the Chinese language services of the Voice of America, which the administration was going to shut down, notwithstanding the fact that U.S. broadcasts have been the principal source of unfiltered information for millions of Chinese, and notwithstanding the fact that shortwave radio broadcasting is Beijing's principal method of communication with its billion-plus people. Another alumnus made a path-breaking discovery of a cyber compromise of the network of the Office of the Secretary of Defense. Another conducted the first survey of the impact of al-Qaeda and Taliban propaganda in 6 key provinces of Afghanistan and laid the groundwork for an effort to counter that propaganda's malignant effects. This young man went on at less than age 30 to become head of the Afghan desk in the Pentagon. Many of our graduates have gone on to do anonymous, secret work for our intelligence community, and their successes, perforce, must remain secret. One of them has been teaching his agency how to do certain critical functions that it did during the Cold War, but forgot how to do since then because of the retirement of senior officials who had the institutional memory. 2 of our alumni have become generals, and one of them, General J.T. Thompson, is currently Commandant of the Cadets at West Point. A remarkable number of our alumni have published their research work in major journals in the field and have established unique expertise. One very special and gratifying moment for me was when one of our alumnae came up to me after graduating and told me that she had never fully understood America until she came here and studied American founding principles. We now have 5 master's degree programs and 17 graduate certificate programs. We're planning to develop a doctoral program. We're developing new academic and executive education programs in corporate statecraft and cyber statecraft. They're designed to provide education to those both in government and in corporations who are involved in the public-private partnerships that are necessary to protect ourselves against the tsunami of cyber espionage and the theft of intellectual property that gives us our global economic competitiveness and military advantage. Since we possess what are arguably the strongest intelligence and counterintelligence programs in the country, we have much to offer in the education of those who must protect our nation's vital secrets. There's much more to tell, but one thing that I'd like to share with you this evening is some extraordinary news concerning the leadership of IWP. Yesterday, our Board of Trustees voted to elect former Director of Central Intelligence, Ambassador James Woolsey, to serve as the first Chancellor of the Institute. Jim's willingness to join our team and to represent us to the world will be a huge boost to our cause. Jim's record of service to this country has few parallels. He has served as General Counsel to the Senate Armed Services Committee, Undersecretary of the Navy, Ambassador to the negotiations on conventional forces in Europe, and as Director of Central Intelligence. Jim, please stand again. I didn't see where you were sitting, but please stand again and let us acknowledge you. Thank you, Jim, for your service to our country and for your arrival at IWP. Let me thank you all once again for your support of our school. We strongly believe that the Institute of World Politics has much to offer to help ensure that America remains free, secure, and prosperous. Leadership is vital to this cause, and IWP is in the business of developing those leaders. God bless you all, and God bless America.